Hi people, welcome back to your channel Dream4 Journey with Arpita. This is your host Arpita, and today we are going to talk about something really interesting. Like these are the mistakes and these are the lessons that you need to learn early on when you start your journey with Dreampod. And you know, of course, I have been through this, so I can talk with my experience as well of how silly mistakes I've made. I would not, call them as a mistake, but I would like to inform you that like one same customer taught me three different lessons in one call itself. So today I'm going to talk about the same thing, that how one customer was dealt with three different approaches from my side, and how I failed twice miserably, and the third time eventually, he gave me his business. So, uh, not wasting much of time, let's begin. So this particular customer, he did not reject me, he did not say no, he did not even made me realize that he doesn't want to go, doesn't want to travel. He just taught me lessons in three different approaches, and this is something which has always stuck with me. And mind you, this was quite early on, like I think this was in the first 1.5 month that I've learned this lesson. And all thanks to this particular customer that I learned the lesson quite early, and it has helped me throughout my journey until now. So I'm hoping that even you all can learn from my mistake and the lessons that I've learned from this one particular customer. So basically everything was just the same conversation, like a general conversation that we have in all the three different moments, in all the three different approaches that I've done. So it was the same conversation, same customer, but the three moments where everything could have gone wrong, and how I averted without actually passing those things going ahead, and how I converted this to a sale. So let's begin. So, cause I got an incoming call. Mind you, this was a new lead, because I had gone online. This was a new lead. So when the customer called up, and he was unsure of his travel plan, and you will also get certain customers, even in bonus queue, you will get customers where they would be like, what, right now we are unsure about our plan, we don't know about the dates, we don't know even about the destination. Sometimes you do get customers where they don't even know where they want to go, but they just want to go. So like they see certain promos, and then they're like, maybe we can go here, we can go there. So this was the same customer. He just said that, what, I'm planning to travel soon, but the thing is, I am not fully sure yet. Now that was a thing, where I realized, maybe, like, it's not an urgent lead, it's not an urgent call for the customer to travel, and he's also not clear, right? So usually what happens in these circumstances, what we tend to do is, we tend to let the conversations feel slow now, because how are you going to help? Like, the customer is saying that he does not even know the travel date, he doesn't even know the destination. So what are you going to help him with? Now, before learning these mistakes, how I used to reply in this particular moment, this is the moment one, right? So I used to always think that, oh, he's just he's just an explorer right now, maybe he's not willing to book the ticket yet, so why should I invest so much time? This was running in my back of the mind, because might as well I can quickly end the call here, and I can go to a different customer who would be willing to take the ticket with me. So with that intention in mind, what I used to do, like the old Arpita, who was just beginner at Dreampod. So the old Arpita would do is, customer would say that, can you just check few options for me? Or, I'm just checking options for right now. I have not yet decided. So like he's telling you, indirectly, that I'm not going to book tickets with you. So it's just going to be an exploration. Like I can give you certain dates, you just need to explore and everything. Now this is what it used to confuse me the most, because now the intent is not clear, the direction is not clear. So what am I supposed to do here? And like I mentioned you, that back of my mind, it was like, why should I waste time here? Might as well go with somebody else and get the sale done, because of course it's a commission based thing. So if you don't make a sale, you don't earn. So as a beginner, this is what used to be in my mind. So what I used to do, the old Arpita used to do is, I will quickly say that, okay, fine, I'll share some options. And I quickly go to Procode, I see some few options, and then I just tell him randomly that these are the things, these are the things, these are the things. Okay, that's it, Now, the thing was, I treated it as a normal lead, because he already made it clear that he's not going to book, he's just exploring. So for me, there was no reason for him to, guide, for him to direct, for him to push for the sale, nothing, because he's just an explorer, right? So this was the intent. Now, what used to happen, because my intent was such, there was no direction to this conversation. Now, when there is no direction to the conversation, what is going to be the outcome? You can understand for yourself. The outcome was customer used to disengage with me slowly. In that 5 minutes of call, I could see the customer losing the interest, and he also is in hurry to keep the phone, because I am not somebody who is actually helping him. So first moment, I have already lost the customer because he started disengaging with me. Not because I told him directly, but my intent was shown on the call. Some people always tell me that, Arpita, when we are talking on the call, how will a customer know what are we thinking? But your intent is clear. Your non-verbal communication, your body language plays an important role in how you treat, how you greet the customer, how you speak. Which is why I always tell people that irrespective whether the customer can see you or not, always have a happy body language, always greet the customer with smile, always have that go to help attitude, and people will see that it will be seen through the call and you will make the sale. Now, this new Arpita that you see right now after 3.5 years of experience, what is the better move, or what is it that I would do now if the same customer comes to me? I would rather tell him, got it. So are you exploring, for budget planning, or are you going to travel soon? Now you see the difference. What I have done here is I have just asked it one small question, one simple question, and that has completely now changed the conversation. Now, instead of customer disengaging with me, he has started engaging with me again, because it's an open-ended question. Now he will tell me more detail that, whatever, whenever he's planning to travel, he will definitely have a budget in mind, or whether he's planning to travel soon. By asking such questions, I have opened the room for conversation, and now he has to tell me that maybe, I'm trying to travel in the next 2 months. So I know that the window is 2 months. So this lead is a good lead for 2 month period. You see, this is how you ask indirect question. This was the smart move. Now, the second moment where usually people lose sale. Customer says that, I'm right now in hurry, I need to go, or my break is about to over, I need to get back to work, or I need to go back and pick up my daughter or my son or whoever it is, or I need to go and buy some grocery. So they want to do a shift. So basically then they will be telling you that, Arpita, just look at the options and send it to me over the email, or maybe over WhatsApp, whatever is convenient to you. I would just check and I would revert. Now, again, what has happened here is customer has asked for a platform shift. So now instead of engaging with you on the phone call, he wants you to send him the option, which is not wrong. It's, of course, their right to ask. But the problem is, this is where you're going to lose the control. Because as long as the customer is on the phone with you, you can take this conversation into any direction that you want, whether it's a sale or a no sale. It's completely with you. You have the trigger in your hand that you can push this conversation to whichever direction you want to take it. But now, when the customer has already asked you to shift the platform, now what would I have done as an old Arpita here? I would have quickly said, oh sure, why not? I will just share the options. Again, go back to the moment one, because my intent was that this customer is anyway not going to buy the tickets with me, right? So why should I right now waste time with him? And I would say, oh yeah, of course, I will just share the option with you. You just go with, you just go to your email or to your WhatsApp or to your text messages, see the option and get back to me if you're interested, or after speaking to your wife or whatever. You see, again, my intent indirectly is the same, that I'm not willing to help you because you're not going to give me your business right now at this point in time, which is what I need. So I am not wasting my time with you. Indirectly, I'm telling the customer. Again, how your subtle language, your body language plays an important role, and also your intent is clear. To think of it right now, when we speak, we can understand. But at that point in time, when you're on the call, you don't understand. You just go with the flow. And this is where your intent is clearly shown during your phone conversations. And that is one of the reasons why it is mandatory to have a good intent when you are on call, especially when you're talking to the customer. Now, what has happened here? The conversation has broken because I've agreed to send him the option either over email or over WhatsApp or over text message. Now comes the worst part, because now the follow-up will become harder. This customer who has already disengaged with me in the first moment, Now he has asked for a platform shift, which I agreed to. Now, do you really think that this customer would come back to me and would pick up my phone, or would revert to my voicemail, or would revert to my email, when he understood in the first instinct itself that this agent is not going to help me? So do you really think that he will come back to me? No. And that is where you lose this customer, you have lost this sale, because the follow-up has become so difficult that he is not going to come back to you. So now what happens is, like I said, the outcome is no response later. I keep trying, I keep calling, there is no response whatsoever. Now, what this new Arpita would have done, what could have been a better move? You know what? Sure, I can of course share there as well. But before I do that, before I share the options on WhatsApp or on email or on text messages, let me just confirm a couple of things with you, and so that I can send you most relevant options. You see, again, I did not let him go. I rather took charge of the conversation once again, and I made sure that he's talking to me and he's just not keeping the phone. He's just not taking a soft exit. So again, I asked him few questions, and now again he's engaging with me because he has to respond to my questions. If he wants me to send him an option, he has to respond to my questions, right? So now, instead of keeping the phone down, he has picked up the phone again and he's talking to me. Now, this is where the conversation has stayed structured, because now again I'll ask him certain things, he'll reply certain things, and again the conversation will go on. So now if you see, the first call, incoming call, 3 minutes, customer disengaged, and then again I got back. Again we are engaging. Again after 7 minutes he's disengaged. Again I've got back. So you see, this is how your call goes from 1 minute to 15 minutes to 30 minutes or to 45 minutes conversation, and then eventually a sale. That is how you handle your first calls every time. Now, the third moment, customer, this is a major soft exit for everybody. You know what? I'll check with this option and I'll get back to you. I have to speak to my family, I have to speak to my wife, I have to speak to my daughter, I have to speak to my friends, I have to speak to this, that, blah, 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 or I'm at work right now and I'll get back to you. Now, what happens is here, this is where everybody almost lose the sale, because once the customer has left, there is no guarantee that this customer will pick up the phone again and will talk to you, because once you understand the marketing, you understand the algorithm of how the social media and everything works. Once somebody has started searching for certain tickets, they will keep looking those adverts and everything, and then they might find something and they'll book it. So to get hold of this customer again is going to be a difficult task. So now what happens is, again, this old Arpita would have done, oh, okay, sure, of course, I understand that you have to speak to your family, your friends. So yeah, why not? You just speak to them and get back to me. Now, what used to happen was, that was the end. Conversation ended, customer ended, sale ended, everything ended, and you are at a big zero. Now, this is where your structural conversation and the way you step into this conversation now will make a huge difference. So now, what used to be the outcome? Customer disappeared, right? Now, what could have been a better move, or what would this Arpita do now after 3.5 years of working at Dreamport? I would say, of course, I am here just to help you. But I just wanted to let you know that the option currently, what we discussed right now, with all the layovers and everything that you want, is one of the better ones for your dates. And also, let me inform you that what I can do, I can also hold this particular fare, this particular seat, this particular flight. And by the time you are checking the similar fare or similar things, would you like me to do this? Can we just hold the fare right now and the seats right now, and then in the meantime you can also check, and then you can revert to me, as soon as you speak to your family, friends. Now, what used to happen here is, the outcome was, customer will be like, oh, now the decision is left open, because I have told him that maybe this is just a one-time fare right now, but indirectly I'm not pushing him. You see, there is no pushing, it's just a guiding. I have told him that I can hold on to this, we just have 24-hour window, we can do that. So now the discussion is again left open. It's not that the customer will hang up on me or something. What is to do, like many times this has happened, and the customer is to like, you know what, Arpita, I think, can I just put you on hold for a minute? Let me just quickly text my wife. Let me just quickly call and I'll just confirm. And we're like, oh, okay, fine. Why not? And then immediately after 2 minutes, you know what? Okay, let's go ahead with this. I'll go with the booking. Now you see the difference. Booking has moved forward. This is how this one particular customer, in 3 different moments, he taught me one of the most valuable lesson, that no matter whatever the customer says, you cannot lose interest in any customer unless he says a clear no, that no, I am not looking for it. Until that no comes from him, this is your chance to move forward with every dead end conversation. Pick that phone back, ask him to call you back, get you on phone, and then get the bookings done. So now you see, same customer, but this particular time the conversation did not drift. Why? Because at every point in time when he wanted when he wanted a soft exit, I was there to bring him back. So what was actually the relationship between the all thing is, this is what basically changed for me. You know, when I now talk to you guys after 3 years of experience here, when I stand here, make videos, I try to interact with you, even when people who are at Dreamport try to approach me through GChat and I help them. So you see, most sales do not fail because of rejection, because they fail in unclear moments. So when I say unclear moments, basically what happens is when the intent is vague. Remember, in the first moment my intent is vague, I was not there to help. So in every moment my intent, first, like old Arpita, it was all vague. Customer was never interested, I was not interested either to help him. Second, the conversation was shifting because I wanted to keep the phone down quickly so that I can go and attend some other customer who can buy the tickets with me. And the third, the decisions got delayed. But the minute I changed my intention, I wanted him to help, I wanted to take him the ticket, I wanted to guide the conversation, the booking finally did happen. So basically what I'm trying to tell you is that you don't always lose a sale loudly. Like, there's not going to be a huge loud noise that, oh, you know what, I'm not going to book with you, or you know what, I found something better or something like that. No, it doesn't happen that way. Very rarely you will find customer picking up your phone and telling you that I've already got a better deal or XYZ. Otherwise it's a dead silence. So sometimes, no, I would say maximum times you lose it quietly. Like, it's just a dead silence and you know you've lost it. So when the conversation slowly fades, that is the time you should understand that you have lost this particular sale. So once you start noticing this moment, these moments and the shift in your conversation, you would understand everything changes. And this is exactly what I want to let you guys know, that please do not expect every customer who picks up the phone would take the ticket with you or would do anything. And also people have a lot of complaints that, you know, we call so many customers, it's always on the voicemail. Please understand, it's not India, it's not Asia where people just pick up their phone even in workplaces. When, especially in America, people don't pick up their phone in workplaces. They are supposed to keep it in a silent mode, or they are not supposed to answer the call, and which is why they have the ability to keep it on voicemail. And you have to leave a voicemail, because unlike Asia, unlike India, people do treat their voicemails as something very important. So they, of course, at the end of the day, they listen to all the voicemails that has been left for them, and then they pick up the phone and then they call. So voicemails are an important factor to sustain here at Dreamport. Please understand. So until then, I hope this video had given you a lot of clarity, and you were able to make sense of this. And I would definitely want to hear your comments regarding this video, and how well would you be able to connect with it. So until then, please like, share and subscribe, and please let me know which is the moment that you have actually got connected, and what are the things that you've already gone through in this particular cycle. So until then, thank you so much for watching my video. Please like, share and subscribe, and write your comments. I would love to hear them, and let me know what should I bring up next. Until then, see you in the next one. Bye.